On July 9, 1964, United Airlines Flight 823 took off from Philadelphia International Airport, bound for Huntsville International Airport in Alabama. Tragically, neither the plane nor any of its passengers or crew ever reached their destination. The details of what happened on board that day remain shrouded in mystery despite extensive investigations. The Vickers Viscount airliner, introduced in Britain in 1953, was designed to meet the growing demand for passenger air travel following World War II. It was the first aircraft powered by turboprops, built for frequent short-haul flights with a modest number of passengers. This made the Viscount 745D ideal for United Airlines' regular Philadelphia to Huntsville route. On that fateful day, Flight 823 took off from Philadelphia at 3:15 p.m. with scheduled stops in Washington, D.C. and Knoxville, Tennessee, before its final destination in Huntsville. The first leg of the journey was routine, with the plane arriving in Washington, D.C. at 3:54 p.m. The crew reported nothing unusual, and after basic servicing, the plane took off for Knoxville at 4:36 p.m., carrying 35 passengers and 4 crew members. As the flight neared Knoxville, the crew maintained communication with Atlanta Air Traffic Control, reporting their position and requesting clearance to descend. Everything seemed normal until 6:21 p.m. when they requested to switch to visual flight rules. Soon after, the plane stopped responding to air traffic control and deviated from its expected route. Witnesses on the ground reported seeing the plane flying at an alarmingly low altitude with engines laboring. Some noticed a bright red light on the side of the plane, while others saw what appeared to be burn marks on the fuselage. 2 local residents even claimed to have seen a person fall from the aircraft before it crashed into a hillside, igniting a fierce fire. Despite a swift response from emergency services and nearby residents, there were no survivors. All 39 people on board had perished. The recovery operation, which lasted several days, involved hundreds of people, including local police, National Guardsmen, aviation investigators, and volunteer rescue workers. The debris was scattered over a vast area, and no intact bodies or luggage were recovered. The investigation into the crash was challenging, especially since the flight data recorder, or black box, was destroyed in the crash, a rare occurrence in civilian aviation history. Investigators pieced together what they could from the wreckage and determined that a fire had broken out in the passenger cabin, spreading rapidly and leaving the crew and passengers with little time to react. One crew member had attempted to fight the fire, but to no avail. The cabin was depressurized, and fire suppression systems in the baggage hold were activated even though the fire was in the passenger cabin, indicating a desperate attempt to improve the situation. The passenger who fell from the plane was later identified as a lawyer with a known fear of flying. He had previously expressed a preference for sitting near the emergency exit and had once remarked that he would rather jump from a plane than go down with it. It seems he acted on this belief when the situation became dire. Despite thorough investigations, the exact cause of the fire remains undetermined. Potential sources, such as hydraulic fluid, paint thinner, or malfunctioning batteries, were all considered, but none could be conclusively identified as the ignition point. In the aftermath, several safety improvements were made. The flight data recorder's design was enhanced to be more durable, and deficiencies in the fire extinguishing equipment were corrected. The crash had a lasting impact on the local community, with a memorial erected in Union Cemetery in Newport, Tennessee, where unidentified remains were buried. The crash site itself remains undisturbed out of respect for those who perished. The exact cause of the fire that led to the crash of Flight 823 remains unknown, but the memory of the disaster and its victims lives on in the community.